All right, some people showing up. Let's go to the chat. All right, say hello in the chat. Make sure I know that you can hear me okay. And then I'm going to go, I'm going to connect with my phone so that when I go into TradingView, I can read your chats. Hi, Mark. Good to see you.
Hi, Mark. Good to see you.
Oh, let's turn that down. Hello, Robin. Hello, Colin. We've got 8 people here so far. I think last week we had I think we had Shaman said we had about 30 people. So we'll give it a couple of minutes and then we'll get started. How you guys doing? You had a good week? Hey, Jesse. Hey, Charlene. Hey, Marcus. So did you guys like my my forecast this morning? Did you guys see it? That's 6 M's. Mystic Moors Monday morning money manifestation, or for short. So that's what I'm gonna be doing every Monday. There's no more acronyms for once it gets into Tuesday. Yeah, so we're going to go over that today. And if you guys have any questions, if you guys have any requests, if you guys want me to look at a particular chart, or these wavecasts are going to be just 1 hour of time. So, and if you were here last week, the time just flies by. So if you do want me to look at a fresh chart, we're not going to get the whole thing done in an hour because it takes too long. But if I can help, if you guys are just struggling with something and you want me to look at it, that's cool too. Unfortunately, right now, with the way that we're doing things, it's just you guys in the chat and me doing my thing. There's limited functionality with these live streams. In the future, we can have some more fun stuff. We can have some more kind of bringing you guys on and everything else. But for now, we're keeping it super simple. So Mark wants Polygon. Was it Colin or someone else was playing around with CHZ? It looks like you're sort of struggling with CHZ, so maybe we can take a look at that a little bit if we have time. But as a go-to, I thought we'd pop into Bitcoin, have a little look at the my thing from this morning, and just take a look at it. Because what I've done is I've done a wave count in the 4 hour. And I haven't gone down into like the 15-minute and gone into any detail yet, right? And depending on the kind of trader you are, if you're the kind of trader where you like to work in the 15-minute bars, then a 4 hour chart, although it's got value, it's not going to be high definition enough to find good entries. Hey, Wana, good to see you. All right, sweet. Well, look, we've got 14 people here, so let's just get stuck in. I'm going to get my TradingView open. Hey, Corey. Share screen. Boom. Okay, cool. Here we are in TradingView. So this was the thing from this morning, and can you see it's popped up above this upper median line? Again, for those of you who didn't attend last week, for those of you who did attend last week, I'm going to repeat some things that you heard me say. So if I cover anything at all that you don't know what I'm talking about, like I just said, this upper median line, if you haven't got to module 18, that will make no sense. So it's okay. If I say something and you think, what's he on about? Don't feel frustrated. It's just, you're on the same journey as everyone else. You just, you're on a different part of the course. Haley. So I'm going to just march forward. And if if you want me to explain something, hit me up in the chat and I'll see what I can do. But so and by the way, whenever I do these like circles, don't take them with a pinch of salt. These aren't predictions. It's just me kind of thinking, well, with the current wave count, I'd be kind of, looking for it to come down here and then, head up here. But these aren't trade setups. These are just kind of me doing wave counts and just kind of looking at the macro. You'll see the difference when I go into like the 15 minutes and you've seen, I don't know if you've seen me in the community when I've posted like an actual like trade setup. It's a lot more detailed, and this is just me kind of thinking, well, the current wave count kind of feel like it's going to be heading in this direction, and it did continue on in this direction, and now it's popped up above this upper median line. So but saying that, we're going to when we go into the 15 minute, wouldn't be surprised if we do get this kind of thing going on like this. I wouldn't be surprised. So but that's just looking at the 4 hour bars. Obviously there's not a lot of detail here. Let me just get rid of my get rid of that and get rid of that, and that, just kind of clean it up a little bit. So yeah, I think this is all still a correction. I've gone and had a little peek at this, and I think this is still a correction here. We've got, this this looks impulsive here, right? We've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 perhaps, but what preceded it I think is corrective. So I think this is an ABC. This move upwards I feel is corrective. I don't think this is a wave one. Not feeling it. So I think this is an ABC. This is a correction upwards, which would sort of make sense. So I would be expecting this, because it's broken out this median lines, this upper median line. So I would expect it to come back down and retest it. So we'll see what happens, but I'd be kind of still expecting it. Expecting is not a good word, but you know what I mean? Like, given the current wave count, that is what I would be, that's what this wave count would be expecting, put it that way. Let's go back in the chat. No more in the chat. Okay. So yeah, I've noticed this. When I start talking, you guys just strap in and enjoy the ride. So that's all good. We've got 16 people watching now. Sweet. Takes me back to when before I started this academy. Before any of you guys knew me, I was in Twitch and I was doing Twitch streaming. So this kind of takes me back to the Twitch days. I had hair back then. I didn't look as glorious, like an evil villain like I do now. So so there's nothing to add to this other than I could play around with some. But by the way, I know this grid thing looks pretty crazy, but I'll just quickly explain this just for even people who've gone to URL module 18. There is a Andrews median line. The tool that we use is called the pitchfork. So there's one pitchfork, right? And that's this color here. And that's drawn from this pivot point up here. If I take all this away, we've got this really, really clean pivot points here, right? There's just lower lows, higher lows, so lower highs, lower lows, all the way to here, and then it changes direction, and it clearly changes direction. So we've got these pivot points here, which is how you create the median line, the pitchfork. And then we've got two pitchforks. One is this, and this is a regular pitchfork, and it's using these 3 pivot points. And then we've got a second pitchfork, which is using the same pivot points, but it's a type of pitchfork called a shift pitchfork, and you're going to be learning about that in module 19. So for now, don't worry about it, but it's using the same pivot points. There's this pivot point here, and using these 2 pivot points here. And then there's just these 2 and these 2. It's created these. It looks like a bit of a grid system, but just wanted to explain that. So I think it'd be kind of useful. Lee says, do we record these by chance? Can't always make this on time. Yeah, it's been recorded. And then I post them inside the Wavecast topic. So you can see the last week's one. If you you're inside the Wave Counters group, you go to topics and you can see the Wavecast topic. And then in there, you can see the recording from last week. And then in a few days, I'll post the recording from today. And by the way, I know that the navigation inside this new community is not perfect, right? It's pretty cool. I think it's definitely got a lot more potential than Discord, but they are coming out with a new release in a few months that's going to make everything insanely better. So rather than it's kind of like you've got to go on a bit of a journey to find stuff. But once they go live with that, I will be in complete control of exactly how things look and how things are and stuff, and it'll be way better, way better. So what I've done is I've gone back to the 15 minute, and I've actually all of the analysis that I'd done, I've stuck it in a folder somewhere so we could kind of start afresh, but only where are we? Only from here, right? Because did I explain this last week? I think no, I didn't. Okay, so this is, I think this is new. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember. I think this is new, right? So yeah, I can't remember if this is what I discussed last week. If it is, fill me in. But I was going by a hypothesis that this isn't because before we had the fourth wave ending here, right? The fourth wave. This is Bitcoin, so the fourth wave ending on August the 22nd, and it just kept going on sideways and sideways and sideways. By the way, guys, if I did talk about this last week about how I think this could be the A wave and this is like a flat correction, then let me know and I'll just fast forward that part. Okay, so yeah, so I've gone back to this point here in the 15-minute, which is right here. So this is still the old wave count, and this is still saying, well, this is wave 4, right? And I mean, it's absolutely right that that's where we would think that this is ending. We've had this epic long complex double combo, and it ended beautifully with an ending diagonal, which maybe some of you guys know is my absolute favorite. And then I posted a short in the community, which is, you know, that's why I love ending diagonal so much. And then yeah, then we would have been expecting a fifth wave, and I just sorry, I just didn't see it. I mean, I can't see the impulse. I mean, this was an impulse. This we've got down as an impulse. We had down as an impulse, but then that would mean we're waiting for the correction. And then if this is wave 2, like what the hell's going on? If this was wave A and this was wave B, well then this isn't wave C. So that means this is wave A and this is still wave B. And it just started to just not look like a wave B correction. So look, it might still end up being something like that, right? But I wanted to go back and have another look at it. And this is when I did this, and I thought, okay, I just sort of took the analysis off. In fact, I'll even take off that bad boy. Colin says, my internet decided to wait until the Wavecast started to start not working. That's sod's law, and that's the way it goes. So if it wasn't for this, right, then you might think, okay, yeah, wave 4, look at this. Look at these sharp, strong moves. Okay, this is the wave 5 coming in. But where's my replay tool? There it is. But yeah, but after this, if this was like, I mean, this isn't wave 5. It's like, it's just, there's no way. That's just too tiny, right? So this has to be wave 1, and this is meant to be wave 2, and it's just not happy with it. So what I'm coming to believe, or I'm playing with the idea that this is all still part of the fourth wave correction. And one of the reasons I really like this as well, and I can't remember if I brought this up. Do you know what? The reason why I'm getting confused, I think, is because I had a live session with the house lions yesterday, and I think I brought a lot of this stuff up. So I think you guys have heard this stuff yet. So so this vertical line here, it comes down to this measurement right here, right? This measurement. Now, I hopefully some of you, most of you, all of you have been through the module where I talk about a correction. There's a high probability that a correction will last at least as long as the prior impulses corrections, right? So just to show you, to illustrate, if we've got a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, right? This correction here, right? This let's say we go 1, 2, 3, right? This correction here, where is that tool I'm looking for? There we go, right? The duration of this correction, right? There's a very high probability it will last longer than either of these corrections, right? And this is really, really useful because if you have this kind of, like, let's say you get this kind of thing here, right? you get something like this. And you think, oh, well, that's the correction over, right? And you go, hang on a second. Let's see. This is the widest correction. Let's see how wide that correction is. Okay, now let's compare, right? Nuh-uh. This correction is shorter in duration than this wave 4 of the prior impulse. So what that suggests, what that tells us, is either this is still the ongoing A wave of the correction, and then we're going to get a B wave followed by the C wave, right? Or that is the A wave, and we've got a flat correction in play. And in other words, it tells us that the high probability is that this correction is still in play, and this is a really, really helpful thing to know, right? And because this move is correcting this entire impulse, so it makes sense that this correction would last longer than either of these corrections. So this measurement right here, this is the duration of the prior impulse waves, wave 2. So if I go back, we can see this is wave, this whole move is a higher degree first wave in the cycle degree, right? This whole move since Bitcoin began, this is like the completion of a full cycle. At least that's the wave count that I've got, and that's the favorite wave count of pretty much everyone who's doing wave counting on Bitcoin. And so this is the fifth wave, and this fifth wave begins all the way down here, right? All the way down here. Now this is Binance, so we can't go too much further back in time because Binance isn't really that old. But the fifth wave starts here. The fourth wave correction begins here. This is the third wave, so this is the duration of the fourth wave correction, right? This is quite a long fourth wave correction. But the second wave correction was even longer in duration. Now, Binance began back here, right? So we can't go further back in Binance. We've got to go further back in Bitstamp. But I've already done it for you. So the second wave of this entire cycle move is this long, right? It's this duration. It lasted for 403 days, right? And I've marked it right here, right at the beginning, which is exactly when this correction begins, right? I've marked it right there. So I'm measuring the length of this correction that is supposed to be, people are saying, oh, well, this is ABC. Oh yeah, we're bottoming out soon, right? This is the entire correction for this entire cycle. This is correcting everything Bitcoin's ever done. Like this, the entire life of Bitcoin, this is the correction. And I'm thinking, well, hold your horses, because we've still got all this. We've got until December December the 18th? December the 18th, I think that says. Yeah, we've got until December the 18th for this correction to continue if we are in a high probability situation where this has actually completed, and we would be thinking, yeah, this could be the bottom, and this is now the beginning of like epic third wave of Bitcoin. But the way that the trajectory of this, if this is the third wave and if this was the fourth wave, well, I mean, the fifth wave isn't going to go sideways all the way down here. I mean, who knows, right? But it doesn't look like it. So what I was thinking was that if that does happen, then this correction isn't even over. It isn't even over. Like you'll notice, maybe you wouldn't notice, but this is the cycle first degree, which means we're looking to complete the second wave in the cycle degree. Yet this ABC is in the intermediate degree, not the primary degree, because look, there's the primary degree that sits under the first wave, which means that if we were expecting an ABC subwave structure of a wave 2, well, then this would have to be primary, like this fifth wave. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. But you notice I've got it in the intermediate degree, not the primary degree. The intermediate is the degree lower down, and that's because I was thinking this is an A, B, C, and that C completes the A wave, right? The A wave, and this would be if it lands down here, right? And that will be the A wave of a potential flat correction, because if the A wave has an ABC subwave structure, if you've got to the flat correction module yet, then you'll know that if you've got in this case, like Bitcoin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, right? And then you've got an A, B, C, and you think, well, that's not the correction over then. Well, then we'd be expecting the price to come back up in a B wave, followed by finally, the C wave like that. So in other words, if this correction finished before here, I was thinking, well, maybe this is just an ABC of a flat correction, and we've got a epic long correction that's going to last a couple of years, right? And that's something to look out for. So if that was the case, as price climbed up, we'd get a corrective structure, and that'd be quite telling, right? People, this is the new bull market. It's like, well, I'm seeing a corrective structure, and it's starting to look like a flat. But that isn't necessarily the only way this could play out with this new potential wave count, where this fourth wave isn't even complete yet, because instead of the fourth wave ending here and this being the fifth wave, this is still the fourth wave in play, and then we haven't even got the fifth wave yet. So this might the way I've got this done out now is I've got a WXY, and then we're expecting a WXY of a B wave, because we've got the A, the B, and then that means the C would be taking us up here, which means the fifth wave would take us well past this this boundary, and then it's okay, and then we could this could be the entire second wave of the cycle degree without fuckery, you know what I mean? Without kind of like, it's not likely that the correction would end, would end quicker than the prior, either of the prior impulses corrections. Esther says, greetings. Hey, Esther. Mark says, hi, Andy. If we put pitchfork shift on your purple wave, wave W, and P1 on the high point and P2 low point, would that be acceptable? Right, hang on a second. Let me just repeat that a second. So, okay. If we put the shift pitchfork on your purple W, well, there's a few purple Ws. There's that purple W, and there's that purple W. And P1 on the high point. So that's P1, I'm assuming here, right? Oh, I think you mean like the shift, like the W, X, and the Y. So I think you mean this, right? So I think you mean this. So I need to go into the lower degree to kind of, I think I would select that point there. What I say there? Yeah. And there we go. See that? Beautiful. Yeah, well spotted. Oh, you say no, that's not it. Well, anyway, regardless, that pinpointed the Y ending point. That's if that's what we're seeing. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So accidentally well spotted, Mark. It says second no. Okay, so I don't. Okay, so you mean this one? But you need the third pivot point. Where would the third pivot point be, Mark? Right, because it's got to be 3 pivot points where there's obvious change in trend direction, right? So, like, I am using this pivot point, but I'm using from this point because it's like trend change, trend change, trend change. Yeah. So so if this was the, I mean, it depends what kind of degree you're looking at. Yeah, so this is the downside of just having it in the chat. It's kind of hard to know exactly what you mean. Anyway, we can come back to that when we go into the lower degrees. So yes, the next high point down to X. The next high point down to X. This point. Yeah. He says no. Okay, so yeah, we're getting nowhere, unfortunately. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what you mean. So, did I draw that? Yeah, I did, yeah. Before blue W. Before blue W. the next high, the right. Well, there's the high there, there's a high there, and there's a high here. You mean that point? Corey says the next, yeah, that point. Okay, cool. Okay, so this point, let me just grab this so I don't bloody forget. Okay, so you mean there's a point there, okay, and from the point there, yeah, and so yeah, where's the third pivot point you want me to place it on? This is fun, isn't it? X here, right here, there, yeah, yes, Mark. Well, Mark's not responding, so I'm assuming that's right. No, in other words, no. White X in circle. Oh, here. Yeah, there. It must be there. That's the only yeah, okay. We got there in the end. Okay. Okay. Would that be a valid pitchfork? I've probably got that pitchfork somewhere. Let's have a look. No, they're all there. Because it depends what it is I'm trying to look for, right? And so I'm kind of like messing with different degrees. There's this WX I've got here, right? And then this marks a high point within, like in a lower degree within here, right? So, but I mean, you can play with it and see what you. Oh shit! What have I done? What did I do? Oh god, I switched to Doge. How'd that happen? Oh, I know. I pressed the wrong button. It goes to that point. Okay. So if I was to do that, it's got rid of all my settings now. Why has it gotten rid of my settings? There it is. So I couldn't see it. Okay. Yeah, that would need a shift anyway. So look, when you're using the pitchfork, and by the way, for everyone else who hasn't got to model 18 yet, this is not going to make any sense whatsoever. And when you're using the pitchfork, the shift pitchfork, and all these different things, like there's all kinds of different combinations you can do, right? And right now this is getting too heavy and too busy. But like you've got to do something, you've got to do it purposefully. You've got to be looking for something very, very specific, right? And this point, and this point, although according to Andrews, might represent changes in trend. I like to layer my my Andrews median line methodology on top of my Elliott wave, right? So I don't like to combine pivot points that are in different degrees, right? I find it kind of confuses the outlook. Colin says shift is for corrections. Usually, yes, not always, but usually there are exceptions, but it's used a lot more common in corrections. So you know, so yeah, like sometimes I'm trying to think of an example. I mean, look, WX, like it's this one here is you know, same degree, and these ones, I mean, this one is kind of breaking that rule. We've got, this is the X, and then this is the lower degree W. But to me, the last pivot point is the one where I allow myself a bit more flexibility. But the middle point there, I think it's very, very important for it to remain in the same degree. And to be honest, when you've got such crazy overlapping movement over here, don't think it's that useful to do a pitchfork right there. I'm like, the reason why I would do a pitchfork is because I've got what I consider to be really clean pivot trend changes, and I'm looking for something. I want to project forward that because I'm looking for the endpoint of the next wave or something like that, right? And you can see here with this one, I'm looking for the X. And when this completes, I'll be using that and creating another pitchfork to then look for the Y. So I tend to use the pitchforks to, when it's appropriate, to look for the next wave and nothing more. And if you get a really key Andrews median line from some really, really nice moves like this, then that's when I'll expand the pitchfork to create the parallels and the first warnings. Which is these exterior ones. And if you get to module 18, you'll see the examples I show you where pitchforks can help you out long into the future, right? Now this one here is called a reverse pitchfork. It's called a reverse median line, and this is where you have a ghost pivot point, an imaginary pivot point, because according to Dr. Alan Andrews, price has an 80% chance, and this isn't just according to him. Actually, there was a trader called God. I put it in the course. Someone Frost, and he did like he researched this, and he found that yes, there is an 80% chance of price reaching the median line. So in other words, with let me look for an example. Yeah, here we go. So with this blue one, with these pivot points identified, there's an 80% chance that price will come back and reach the median line, and that's exactly what it did. Well, given the fact that there's a high probability, an 80% chance that price will reach the median line, if you get these sharp changes in direction like this, right? But there's just nothing back here to lock onto to find where this is likely to end. Once this reaches a pivot point, you can. You're gonna learn this in module 19. You can create what's called a reverse median line, where essentially you're creating you're finding where it bounced, like what you think is the key point, where it's got an 80% chance of reaching, and then you lock it in that point. And it's called a reverse median line because you would actually turn it around and lock it to where you want to lock it. And then inside the settings here, you can actually make them extend off into the right like this. And it kind of goes like reverse. But I find it looks nicer just to kind of do it, just do it this way. Just have like a kind of a secret ghost pivot point over here. But you're going to be learning that in module 19. So I've kind of laid that over here because I thought, okay, this is kind of interesting. If I'm expecting, if this price is reached down here, then I'd be looking for if and when price does come down to this area here, I might look for it to reach this median line. And if it does, go in this direction, you might be looking for this for resistance. So it's just kind of just a helpful thing to lay over. But you can see it starts with the wave count, and then these are sort of laid over the top to add like an extra layer of probabilistic analysis. Colin says this is going to be in module 19. Yes, it is. Shirley says great to get an insight into the future modules. Yeah, it does. So, God, we've been going for 35 minutes. Like we're halfway through. Like time just flies. It's crazy. I haven't even gone into the 15 minutes yet. Jesse says it's on your 0.5 of the reverse pitchfork now. No, it's on your 0.5. What do you mean 0.5 of the reverse pitchfork now? Yeah, I don't know what you mean by 0.5. Do you want to elaborate on that, Jesse? It's on your. Do you mean inside the settings? Like I haven't got 0.5 turned on. 0.5's there, right? That'd be like the halfway points. I tend not to keep those on personally. In your settings, yeah, no, I don't have those on. Some Andrews median line stroke pitchfork traders like them. Personally, yeah, I don't use them. Robin says she's talking about the fib level. Oh, sorry, my bad. This point here, this fib level there. Is that what you're talking about? Oh, she. No, Jesse's not a she. Yeah, Jesse's a he. I'm assuming Jesse. Is that what you're asking? No, I think no. Jesse was asking about the median line settings. Anyway, yeah. So I'll get cracked on. So yeah, let's go into the 15 minutes a little bit. So and try and I mean, God, this is going to take too long probably. Robin says, "My bad." All good, man. Misgendering, man. Misgendering. Shame on you. Shame. Jesse says, "I'm a guy." You're a guy today, but who knows what you're going to be tomorrow, man. All right. So look, I'm fairly okay with we can spend a lot of time, or I can spend a lot of time going into all the subwaves of all this. But I kind of want to get stuck into this recent price action right here, right? So forgive me if I kind of cheat a little bit and just get right stuck into this last bit here, right? Which is kind of presumptive. It's presuming that what has come before is good, right? It all works. So let's just get stuck in, okay? Let's have a look. So what degree are we on? This is the W in the sub minuet. So I'll just do that on W. I'll draw that on really quickly. So just quickly, did I say it was there? I think it was there. W. I think I said the X was there. I'll get back to that in a second. X, and is that sub minuet? Minuscule. Let's change that to sub minuet. Boom. There we go. There it is. Let's bring that to the top. Okay. So did we say it was there? We did. And then we're saying the X is up here somewhere. So that X is still yet to complete up here or something. We'll see. And then with the Y, we'll be expecting to be down there. Okay, so that means we'll be expecting this is the next. Now look at this, right? This is, just get rid of this. Bring that down here. So, I mean, look, this is corrective. This is nuts. This whole thing is just an absolute bloody nightmare, right? This whole thing's corrective. Now, one thing I pointed out in my analysis was whenever I see these just insane moves, right? These launch up and launch back down within, it doesn't seem to make sense for the structure. I'm thinking it's a stop loss hunt, right? I think these institutions saw there was like a ton of stop losses right above this point here because the price is going down. It came back up. It came back up. It doesn't go past this point. It's corrective, and there's just tons of people shorting, right? There's lots of people expecting a short, and I just think this blast up was just caught all the short traders out, gobbled up all that volume, and then look, it just shot straight back down again. And then it popped up again, and it didn't reach that point. There. So I kind of feel that this is a manipulation. And whenever I'm looking at a wave count, I'm like, I don't get this wave. This doesn't make any sense. I'm like, well, look, if this is a manipulation, then a manipulation by definition isn't a product of crowd psychology, right? It's the result of a few actors, right, or one very powerful actor who forced this to happen and then brought the price right back down. And if that's the case, I kind of gloss over it a little bit. I kind of think, okay, I try and almost imagine that what would have happened if price hadn't have done that. Now, I'm not saying this is good practice or this is something that other people do, but it's something that I have been experimenting with. And I'll be completely honest, right? This impulse right here has me completely stumped. It doesn't fit anywhere. It doesn't fit anywhere because if this is an A and this is a B, fair enough. Well, then this is a C, and I'm not feeling it. Like this is a corrective structure, right? I'm not feeling it. I'm not seeing this as a C. I'm not, and I've just tried. I just can't get this to fit anywhere. I'm like, well, look, if this is the product of a manipulation, then fuck those guys, right? I'm just going to pretend that didn't happen, and I'm not saying this is good practice. Mark says there was a lot of liquidity at that point. HGF liquidity indicator in TradingView. Yeah, I haven't got that indicator. I'm just saying that that to me is kind of a very that shoot up and right back down, and it's above key market structure. Just feels like a manipulation. So that is why I was quite content with going WX, and then the Y will be up here. So the W was here. So this, I think you saw me mention last time, this is a very clean ABC, right? Impulse, correction, impulse. Really nice. So very happy putting down an ABC for that. And that, in fact, I've probably still got that. In fact, I have in my little folder that I've made invisible. Oh, come on. No, I deleted it by accident. Colin says, would it be another WXY? What would be another WXY? This is an impulse. This is like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse. So that's an A. There we go. That's an A. This is all a correction. And we've got a so we've got a 1, a flat correction, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm happy with that being a C as well. So this is sub minuet. This is going to be a degree there. So this is this is sub micro. So W, I think I've got a WX up here. That'll be an X to complete, A, B, C, that completes the W. And I think my X is there and my Y is up here. My Y is there, and that will be micro. I think that's the case. Yeah, there's my X. And then I've got a W and then X in motion according to this, and that WXY is the sub micro. So we've got W, X in play, and then we've got the W. Beautiful. All right, so that's as much detail as we've got here, right, in this high degree time frame. So now we're able to kind of get stuck in a little bit. Now, one thing that hasn't changed, I think, is we've got either a triangle correction there, or another way of looking at this was I saw a triangle correction there, and then we had this extending E. And given that it begins up here, then and this is an ABC. This is a three-wave move. We've got a A, B, C, D, E. I think, yeah, it's. I don't want to go into it, but I've got a folder up there, and I think that's what I concluded. And then we've got a breakout E, and then another correction. So that means we've got the correction WX, and again, assuming that didn't happen, or it didn't kind of go in much higher, then we've got a WXY. Yeah, so that would be like this. No, we can't have a triangle in the W position. You can't have a triangle in the W position. So that means we get a W. Then you can get a triangle in the X. So that would mean that we do actually have this, which I actually prefer. So that means we've got a W. And then we've got a B, C, D, E. We've got an X up there. And then WX, yeah, and I'm going to ignore this. Now, I'm not saying this is good practice. Don't, tell people I did this. Wait, what have I done? WX, yeah, okay. And then, and then the Y down here. That makes sense. Okay, there we go. Okay, don't tell my mum. And now we've got this W. This feels really clean here. We've got another WX and Y. Good, it's just double combo inception. Double combos inside double combos inside double combos. I'll come back to that in a second. And I'm not just doing this arbitrarily, guys. I mean, you can see here that, well, you could argue this is impulsive. We've got some volume here. We could argue a 1, 2, 3, a little 4, and maybe an ending diagonal in the 5, right? You could argue that. But then that's not an impulse there. There's no way, right? Because if this is an A and this is a B, that's not a C. That's not a C. That's not a C, right? Because you've got this entire move here. There's no wave 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a corrective pattern here, right? So, um, 1 A B W X A B B 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah, I think this is ABC. 1 A B 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah, so I'm happy with that being an ABC. And then this is probably an ABC. Yeah, probably an ABC in the X, and then probably a WXY in the Y, probably. And then here we are in the X where we are now. So, so yeah, this is what initially stumped me, because I was like, this is meant to be a C wave of the prior wave count, and it's like, you know, like, and I've probably said this before, but maybe you haven't heard this, right? If you've got to module, I think it's 12. Correct me if I'm wrong. The module where we talk about channels, right? The perfect impulse structure, meaning the kind of structure that you would expect to see, because an impulse structure is a wave that is indicative of the crowd psychology of an impulse, and the Kennedy's channeling technique just just highlights that, shows it, reflects it. You get a beautiful bass channel, and you get the fourth wave, finding support near or on the bass channel. And it's and you get this kind of exponential kind of growing kind of, right? This is the impulsive kind of personality of like just growing, right? You've got the prophets, the deniers, and the missionaries come in, and the deniers come in, and the doubters come in, and this is like the impulsive personality. But when you've got a structure like this, where if this is the first wave, then where's the bass channel? Like there? Well, then our third wave doesn't even break out of the bass channel, and then this is the fourth wave breaking way down below the bass channel. This isn't impulsive. It's not impulsive, right? It's corrective. So if this is corrective, that's what made, like, when you come across a wave where it's not doing what it's, if you're looking for an impulse and it looks corrective, if you're expecting a correction, you get an impulse. It's like you've got to step back and look at your wave count again. So this is why now we're expecting a correction. Well, beautiful, very cool. So, is this an impulse? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I mean, because then, okay. So let's play with one idea. Is this could be ending diagonal? I'm just seeing a kind of a shape. Let's have a look. Is that? I'm not saying that's what we're seeing. I'm just going visually, right? I can see an expanding kind of shape into a sort of a triangle, sort of a diagonal triangle formation. A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this could be an A, B, and then a C, but then an ending diagonal C, right? Because I'm seeing this like overlapping. It's all choppy. It's all overlapping, and that's what you would expect to see in an ending diagonal position, right? Now, yeah, it is diagonal, so that's cool. A, B, yeah. So, like, yeah, let's do that. So that's, I mean, with this sharp move, I like to think that is impulsive. A, B, and then this is the C. So let's go with that, right? So we got A, B, and then that means that's the C there, right? And this would be a degree lower. So now we're going down into the minuscule. Cool. Well, either that is the X there, right? Either that's the X there. Sorry, that should be a degree lower as well. If I missed out any others? WX. W, yeah, okay. Okay, so either this is the W, and now we're actually launching towards the Y, in which case, well, this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, or this could be so that's a possibility. Let's have a look. Yeah, that could be a possibility. And the alternative is that this is the X of a lower degree, and we've got, this is the W of a lower degree, an X, and we're going to expecting another Y down here. So what else have I got? So I've got, let's put a few other bits and bobs on. Let's have a look. Where does this correction start and end and begin? So it starts here, W. We're expecting the X there, this W, X. Okay, so let's put a channel from the beginning of W to the X there, and we can just sort of just do it manually to out there, and change that to there. Okay, and I like that because we've got this manipulation, and then price just peaked its little nose above there, and it seems to be channeling in this direction. So I like this channel. That's nice. So, and now we're looking this X completing here. So now we've got a W and an X. So if that's the case, what might that channel look like? So that is the case there. Then okay, so that will be looking to end, I suppose, the middle point there. Let's just sort of mark that. Can you see, by the way, that I'm like starting with the wave count? That's always first, because that gives you the macro, the feel, right? The personality, the crowd psychology. And once you think, okay, this is looking good, you can start to layer on some other elements. And the first layer for me is always the channels. Kennedy's channeling technique, if it's the impulse wave. If it's corrective, just wrap that correction in a nice corrective channel. Once you've got that, and then you can go into lower degrees and do like this lower degree channel. I should make that a different color. Because these are all guides, these are all like showing you, because what is a channel? A channel is the upper and lower boundaries of a trend, because you're trying to find, because look, trading is just about finding the trend and then trading in the direction of that trend. Okay, so if this is the end of the W and the X, actually this should be blue, not pink. There we go. Then so we'll be watching this and looking for, where did I say? So we've got some pitchforks here which give us some kind of target area. So I'm just going to draw some of those on. So we've got from the very high point up there to these two pivot points. Let's just draw that on really quickly. These big macro ones. So yeah. From that point there to this point here to this point here. Okay. And yeah, that pinged that perfectly. Okay. Yeah, and this is the channel for this entire correction. Is that colored correctly? I think it is. Oops. Yeah, it is. Okay. We've got 4 minutes left, guys. I'll go on for like an extra 5 minutes. I'm not seeing any questions, so I'm just going to carry on. And what other pitchforks have we got that are useful? Yeah, let's stick with this for now. We can do some sort of lower time frame pitchforks. So now, if we are thinking this is the potential end of this, we've got the WX, we're looking for the Y. Well, now I would lay on a pitchfork for the W, that's the beginning point, and the, come on, is it, and the W, boom, and then the X. And based on, you know, the personality of this, you later on might want to change to the shift pitchfork. But for now, according to Andrews, there is an 80% chance that price will reach this this median line, right? That's if these have been placed correctly. And, you know, we've got a change in trend here, a change in trend here, and a change in trend here. So that's if this is the case, right? Now, if price just doesn't, really, we're looking for price to break out of here. But if it, because this is the channel that the entire correction is in, so it's kind of, you know, I mean, if it breaks out of here, that'll be the first time it's broken out of there for ages, for a long time. So I'm not seeing a ton of volume here. So prediction, Andy, is that this isn't a wave 1, 2, 3, and this isn't the pivot point, right? So we haven't got time to see it today, but we'll see. I kind of feel like in order to break through that, I think it's got to have a bit more. Well, let's go into some more detail here. Let's have a look. Could this be? Yeah, I'm not seeing an impulse here, although we could go down into a lower time frame. Let's have a look. Yeah, just kind of feels corrective. I mean, we've got some volume here, less volume here. So yeah, we're already seeing some divergence in the volume. So look, it's got to break out of this point here for me to think that, you know, we're on the way to up here, you know, to the completion of this. So and until that happens, you know, you've got to kind of wait. So I would kind of, if I was going to like if I was a betting man, I would say that it's going to come back around. And this isn't the X. This is a lower degree A, B, C. So a W, X, and we've got a Y that's going to take us down here or something. That would be my what I think is most probable. And we're going to find out soon. We're going to find out, not today. By the time I wake up tomorrow, we might have seen, you know, whatever it's going to do. We might have seen that, but yeah, because I'm not seeing a super clean impulsive structure in that first wave there. So yeah, what do you guys think? Well, it's we've been going for 1 hour, so I suppose I'll end this by saying WX WA B C. Yeah, it's just too much overlap. Even this like wave upwards in this direction, I'm seeing a corrective pattern, right? There's just too many impulses that look like corrections. So I kind of feel like yeah, I just feel like this is a correction. I feel like this is a correction. So I feel like it's going to come back down, but I might be proven wrong. So yeah, I mean, like, this is what happens when we've got just 1 hour, and you can see I'm just kind of looking around, trying some things out, experimenting. But to do a fresh wave count, it takes time. It takes longer than an hour. You have to, and this is something I wanted to bring up. I brought it up with some of the other students. I think it was from either you, Colin, or Charles. When you get frustrated with your wave count not doing what you think it's supposed to do, and it's because you're not thinking right about what it is that we're doing here, right? We're just having hypotheses, we're just having ideas, and it's almost like when you first start this, or when you're new, you just go, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've done wave counting. Sweet. I'm gonna put money in this now. And then when it doesn't do this, you get frustrated, as if this is something. This is like meant to be magic or something, right? Like that. This is all made up. Like this is what's happening, right? This is what is actually happening. And anything on top of that is made up, in the sense that you have layered on top of it your assumptions, Now, yeah, idiot wave is a methodology for mapping crowd psychology, but you have to be so careful of your assumptions, because you can't put things onto the price. The price has to talk to you and tell you what to do. And I think part of the journey of getting really good at this is being able to look at price as objectively as possible, and to not be trying to put things on the price that you want it to be there, so yeah, maybe that's not maybe like a perfect example, but once you get into here, right, and you start to play around with this is like a great example, because when you start to play around with, like, well, Jesus, what the fuck is going on here? W, X, Y, this is all just like a hypothesis, and you can see, like, at no point, I mean, I haven't spent enough time on it anyway, but I'm not like, oh, guys, trading opportunity, guys, short, long, like, no, not. There are times where, like ending diagonal structure here, where it's like, this looks like it's about to pop, guys. This looks good. Like, that's not what we're seeing here. This is. I mean, God, look at it. Look at it. It's nuts. This crazy correction. So if you do a wave count and you do a WXY and then ABC and stuff, and then price does something different and you feel frustrated, like, get over yourself. You're not, like, what, you think you're a god? You think you can magically predict what's going to happen? Like, come on, calm down. Like, go easy on yourself. Like, especially in stages like this, you just have to have hypotheses, have ideas, and just play with them, experiment with them, go into the lower degrees and test them. And then, yeah, look, there'll be some times where price isn't going to do what you think it's going to do. But you shouldn't be trading if you're not really confident. If you're not like I'm not confident right now. I'm not going to trade right now, because I need more confirmation. I want to see what's going on. I don't know if this is the X here, and I kind of feel like, I don't think it is, but I'm not super confident yet. If this continues to climb up, right, I'm probably not going to be looking for an entry until we get to the Y, until we kind of get to, because I still want my wave count to be confirmed. And then I'm going to be doing more median lines, and I'm going to be waiting till I find an opportunity. And I think part of the frustration with new traders is you just trade. You don't wait for an opportunity. You just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you go ABC and you trade. And like, okay, yeah, okay, I know that was your hypothesis, but exactly why did you buy there? What's the exact trade setup? Why? What's the trade opportunity? Like, it's not enough just to say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What else? What else? That complemented and added confluence to this wave count. What confirmation did you see in this wave count? It could have been in volume, in momentum, using these extra layers, like these Kennedy channeling technique. I saw an ending diagonal in the fifth wave position. I saw divergence. Like, it's not enough just to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trade. It's not enough. It's not enough. So I think the mistake that new guys make is you're putting too much weight on your wave count. Especially when you first start. I need to see more. Especially if it's just 1 degree of wave count, because you can say, oh, this looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I saw this. I don't know if it was with Colin. Mark could go. Cheers, Mark. All good. I don't know what this is. Colin or Charles posted a wave count and was frustrated it didn't do something. And I looked at his third wave, and the third wave looks corrective, but he hadn't done The subwave structure. I hadn't looked into the subwave structure. Just did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's the third wave. Is it? I don't think you've gone down into the subwaves and looked at the third wave. If you looked, you'd see a third wave structure. It's like if somebody said, "Oh, this is an impulse," yeah, like, boom, this is an impulse, and you go into it and you see this 1, 2, 3 structure, and it's like, no, it's not. It's not. This is a corrective structure, right? 1, 2, 3. This is corrective. But if you don't go into the subdegree, you might be like, "Oh, yeah, this is the impulse." No, it's not. And you wouldn't know that if you haven't gone into the down into the lower degrees. So hopefully that helps. I'm not having a go. I am a little bit, but the degree to which you're frustrated is the degree to which you're buying into a fake story. You're buying into a fake narrative. Oh, I should be able to. No, you shouldn't. Nope. No, that's just the story. It's all made up, right? You shouldn't feel any frustration at all, right? You're just an investigator, an explorer, a puzzle solver. This is a puzzle, right? Right now, there's no puzzle. Now now there's a puzzle because you've come along and you created a problem. There's no problems here. Price is just doing what Price is going to do. Price is happy as Larry. And now there's a problem, right? All the problems are human imposed, because what we're doing is we're trying to map out the crowd psychology, which is obviously very, very tricky inside a crazy complex correction like this. So cool, but just I'm chill. Like I'm in the chaos, and I'm relaxed, because I'm waiting for trade opportunities. Now, because we're not sure this is the pivot point, right? Because of the Elliott wave structure, because again, Andrews would say that there's an 80% chance that it's going to reach this point here, but that's assuming these are the true pivot points. And because of this structure, look, we might be proven wrong. And if it gets to this pivot point, cool, then maybe up here we can look to see what it's going to do. And we can get to that point later. But right now, with this limited, wave count analysis, it's not enough yet. But if it does come back down here, right, and breaks down here, and then we would expect it to head in this sort of direction. Now we might be looking for a potential entry, right? Perhaps, right? And we would look for, if this is a W and an X, then I'd be looking for I'll be doing this, the W, and then like the X, and then I'll be using that, because then if that's true, if that is like the end of that, and that would be a lower degree, which would be, put that in the gray. Oh, I haven't got it colored, so it would be in the gray. Then there's an 80% chance that price will reach this median line, and then that's good. If it does that, then at the same time, while we're expecting the X, then we'd be potentially looking for a long position. If the price also does come back down, but it doesn't reach this median line, we would still look for it to complete the X. But now Hagopian's rule comes into play, which is really exciting, because that would actually add even more weight to a propelled move upwards. And that's something you learn in Module 18. So, right, so I've gone over by 10 minutes. That'll do for today. Hopefully it's been helpful. I don't know how helpful it is, but you guys seem to enjoy it last time. But when I'm just talking, I'm used to this stuff. So I don't know how helpful any of this stuff is. But if it is, hit me up in the chat and let me know, because I think I seem to think that some people like me doing this, and then I'll do it next week. Let me turn off the sharing and bring back my beautiful face. Shirley says, very helpful. Thanks. Esther says, thanks, Andy. It's very helpful. Tim Maskell says, good job. Thanks. Corey, thought it was great. Thanks for your time. Janus says, it's definitely helpful. Thank you, Andy. Robin says, cheers, Andy. All good, guys. All good. Glad you enjoyed it. That's Wavecast. So yeah, that's Wavecast number 2. Christopher says, marvelous effort. I love that word. It's a very British word, I think. Jesse says, thanks. Cheers, love. Ferrant says, really helps to get into the mind of a proper wave counter. Lee says, bit confusing for a mod 5. Yeah, I bet. But cannot lose. Shaman says, awesome insight. Marcus, thanks, Andy. Great as ever. Colin especially enjoyed the bollocking. Yeah. Yeah, you just want punishment. Shaman, thank you for the session. Yeah, cool guys, appreciate it. Yeah, cheers, babe. Cheers, Jesse. Nice one. So yeah, cool. All right, let's end it there. Cheers, guys. So this recording will be in the Wavecast topic in a few days. It takes like about 24 hours to process. Like the platform is recording it, so it takes about 24 hours to process, or maybe longer. So it'll go up there, you know, and then you guys have got it. And for anyone else who couldn't show up, they can grab it too. So I've got an exciting week ahead, a very busy week ahead. Lots going on, which the team members know about, but we're going to be launching something, which means that there should be in a 4 days onwards, we should start to see some shiny new members joining the community, which will be really exciting. You're welcome, Pedro. Cheers, guys. So it's 10 o'clock, 10:15 where I'm now. So yeah, I'm going to get going. So cheers for being with me, guys, and I'll see you in the community. I'll go live with you next week. See you guys.